Nope, this is not a sponsorship for Schweppes. Today is currently 31st of December 2022. Yes, that's correct. So if you've had the courage in the past few days or past few weeks to go through your journal or wherever it is you wrote your goals at the start of this year, then I applaud you, because many a times we find ourselves in this loop year after year that the goals that we set at the start of the year, we did not complete half of it, or 20% even of those goals. Now, in today's video, we're going to be talking about why that is so. But before we get into that, this video is divided into 3 parts. The first part is why you need to set goals. The second part is how to set those goals to achieve the maximum result. And the final part would be me talking about some of the lessons I learned with my goal setting techniques and why you should not use that, because I didn't complete the goals that I set out to complete. There'll be timestamps throughout this video. You can check the description and just skip to whatever part is most beneficial to you, or you can make me happy by watching the video from start to end. By the way, if you are not already subscribed, please hit the subscribe button, like, then turn on post notifications so you're notified, and let us get straight into the video. So what exactly is our reason for setting goals? I've spoken about this in one of my videos, but the reason we set goals is not necessarily to get to the destination. It's so we can have a journey, a pathway, a map basically, right? Okay, we want to get from being very obese to very healthy, right? We would set a goal like that so we can have a technique, so we can have a map as to how we want to get from point A to point B. And I've said it before, and it still sounds cliche every single time I say it. It's not about the destination, it is about the journey. So it's about that distance between point A and B. Point B is not really important. It is important, but the journey from point A to point B is what is more important. Now, I'm sure all of you, or 90% of you watching this video, know the reason you set goals. If not, you probably will not be setting them, right? So we're going over to the second part of this video, which is how you can set goals to achieve the maximum results. So we're going to be talking about 5 steps, so you can skip to whatever part speaks more meaning to you, or you can watch the whole thing. Basically 5 steps you can follow right now, and hopefully by the end of 2023 you can come back to watch this video and be like, yay Tega, I did it. Hopefully. All right, so the first step is to, do I know the first step? I don't know the first step. So the first step would be to identify your values and your priorities. You need to identify what is most important in your life. For example, if you do not like going to school, right? i.e. your parents force you to go to school. You told them, I don't want to go to school, I don't want to study anything, I want to be whatever I want to be, but school is not my calling, right? And you set a goal and say you want to get maybe a 4.5 or a 4.7, right? Out of a 5-point GPA. It will be very difficult for you to achieve that because you firstly did not like school, right? Because it doesn't have any value to you per se. So setting a goal like that would be irrelevant to you. So it will be very easy for you to fall out of that particular goal. So does that mean you cannot set goals on education, for example, if education is not what you like? No, that's not what it means. It means that the first thing you need to do before setting a goal like that is ask yourself, how can education mean more to you? Right? So if you understand why you're doing a particular thing, it would help you do it better, so to speak. So if you understand, for example, why you need to get more fit and how it can add to your health, then it would make it just a tad bit easier to get that particular work done. By the way, I forgot my microphone. That's probably why none of the things that I've said before do not make any sense. But let's go over to the second point. The second point is something that you would have heard before, I suppose, and it's to set SMART goals. All right, so SMART goals is an acronym. S stands for specific, M stands for measurable, A stands for attainable, R stands for relevant, and T stands for time bound. So let's start from the top. S for specific. Now, one of the reasons you probably have not been able to achieve your goals is because they are not specific enough. Imagine saying, oh, okay, let's say you get not so good grades in school, and you say next year or in the coming year I want to get better grades, right? That's not a specific goal. You need to pinpoint the exact amount of A's, B's, C's, however it is that you want to have, or the amount of GPA that you want to get. Whatever it is, just make sure you are extremely specific about this. Setting specific goals gives your brain, it tricks your brain into believing that it is more real, so to speak, right? It is so easy to say I want to exercise more, and you go into the coming year and you start to exercise at the start, but you fall off so easily because you did not specify your goals. So for exercise, for example, you can say I want to exercise 2 times a week just for starters, or I want to exercise 3 times a week, however it is. And each time you do that, you like take it off because the goal is specific. You really can't take off a goal like exercise more. Like that doesn't make sense because it is not specific enough. To the next, M, measurable. Now your goals need to be measurable, and it still falls under the same specific nature, because if your goals are measurable, it is very easy to tick off. Like for example, just specifying your goals makes it measurable, because now you can track your progress, right? So if say you want to read 2 books every week or 2 books a month or whatever the case, you can always track that particular progress. So whatever your goals are, firstly make them specific, and secondly make them in such a nature you can track your progress, like how closer are you getting to those particular goals. A is attainable. I think this like is self-explanatory, because just set goals that make sense, right? It doesn't negate the fact that you should set high goals. Set goals that you have a clear structure in place to achieve, if that makes sense, right? Imagine me saying, oh, okay, I'm at 300 subs right now and I want to get to 100,000 subs. Like, how does that want to happen? In 1 year, how does that want to happen? Set goals that are achievable. Then R, I spoke about this. R is for relevance. This still falls under what I said at the start. Set goals that are in alignment with your value system, right? Goals that are relevant to you. It's obvious that the more relevant the particular goal you set is, the easier it would be to stick to that particular goal. Amongst all my goals, the only 2 that I stuck to like throughout the year was spiritual goal and financial goal, because those are 2 that mean more to me than the rest of the goals, right? So I need to find a way to make those other goals relevant to me, so I would be able to stick to them. Now, by the way, I will be talking about my goals. That's the goals that I have throughout 2023. I'll be talking about this in the next video or 2 videos from now, but it will be coming out in January. So if you're not subscribed and if you have not turned on post notifications, turn it on now so you can see all the goals that I have. We go on to the last 4, the second point, which is T, time bound. Now, setting goals and not giving a clear definition as to when you want those goals to be completed is setting yourself up for failure, right? Because if you have goals, for example, you say I want to exercise more, and you say that okay, every single week this is the amount of exercise I'll put in, so by the end of the month I would have reached XYZ, or hopefully I would have burned XYZ amount of calories. Basically, setting goals that are time bound would help you achieve them earlier. I figured that some of the goals that we set, the truth is we can complete it sooner than we expect. Not all your goals have to be completed throughout the year 2023. Like if your goals can be completed at the start of the year, which is January, then complete it in January and just check that off and just leave it. So for every goal that you set, like I'm being serious, like for every goal that you set, yeah, put like a deadline to it, like when you want to have completed it. So you can distribute your goals into monthly, or you can distribute them quarterly, or you can say for the whole year. So you can say, okay, these are the goals I have for the first quarter of the year, these are the goals I have for the first half of the year, and these are the goals I have throughout the year, things like that. Just make sure that you have a particular time frame in which you want to complete those goals. Now for the third step, and I think this is the most important amongst all the things that I will list, or I have listed, right? And it's to break your big, humongous, giant goals into small, actionable steps. Like this is so important, because whenever I think of, let's say for my business, if you don't know I have a business, you can watch my 2 previous videos, right? I will not link anything. It shall be in the description, will it? I don't know. You can watch it on my channel. But the point is, I have a business, so by the end of the year, I want to have, I'm still thinking about the number, but I think I want to have at least 50 sales from my business, like throughout the year, right? Now breaking that into small actionable steps. Okay, like what can I do to get closer to this goal? Okay, I know that I can, if I post daily or at least 4 times a week on my Instagram page, then it would help better. If I get better at copywriting, it would be better. If I get better at email marketing, I'm closer to my goal. Like I'm breaking that huge goal, so to speak, into small actionable steps. And this would help me get closer to the goal, because like I mentioned in one of my videos, every single time you complete a task, and you find it out when you do it with to-do list, that every time you take something, there's this kind of feeling that you get, a sense of achievement. Yes, you've not accomplished the whole goal, but each time you take something off of that particular list, it makes you just a bit happy, right? So breaking your big goals into smaller goals would help you so much in accomplishing the major goal. So for the 4th thing on my list, I have review your goals regularly. Like, I mean, as often as, okay, not as often so you don't give yourself a heart attack, but like every month or every quarter, try to review your goals. It could be every 2 months, it could be every 3 months, but just try to review your goals. And do not be afraid to take some things out if you feel they're not necessary, or you feel they do not align to your lifestyle any longer, because things change, and at the end of the day, everything we're doing is a game. All right, so don't be afraid to take some things out, and don't be afraid to add some things in as well, because you would find out that the things that you had at the start, that's the plans that you had at the start of the year, will not necessarily be the same plans you have at the end of the year. So don't be afraid to take some things out. This is why it's important to review your goals, and it also helps to keep you in check. Like, okay, these small actionable steps you're taking, are they getting you towards your goal, or are they just taking you around in circles? Right? So review your goals as often as you can. Then for the fifth thing on my list, if you are here, if you've reached this point of the video, then that makes me extremely very happy, right? I've used a carrot before, but just for the sake of, okay, since we're going into the new year, put a star. All right, put a star in the comment section if you have reached this point. So for the fifth point, we have celebrate those small wins. Now, if you notice, each part of each of the 4 steps, they build upon each other. So if you've broken down your goals into smaller steps, then it would be very easy for you to celebrate those small wins, because each time you take something, oh, okay, throughout this week I was able to post, or throughout the month of January or February or March, whatever, I was able to post consistently on my Instagram, and I can see that I'm getting sales more, right? I'm getting more sales. Yes, I'm not at the big number that I want, I'm getting more sales. So you can celebrate that, right? Doesn't mean you should spend all your money. Just celebrate it. Take out time to acknowledge the fact that you are getting better, because it's always consistent steps, right? It's the steps, like I said, it's the journey that matters. So just celebrate those small wins, because it would help you feel more confident and encouraged to carry on till the end. So these are the 5 tips that I have to help you accomplish your goals in the year 2020. No, not 2020, Jesus, it's 2023. And if you don't, at the end of the year, that's December 31st next year, if you come back to this video, I'll make sure this video comes back up, and you have not accomplished the goals that you set out to accomplish, then we'll fight, because I think these steps are really solid steps. I think they are solid steps. Okay, so now let's go over to some of the things that I learned in the year. It might be scope I'm using, maybe Schweppes can just sponsor one of my videos. Maybe I like Schweppes, but I prefer Maltina. I don't know if I meant to say that. Here are some of the things that I learned. The first thing that I realized is that you need to limit, or I personally need to limit, the amount of goals that I set. There was something that someone said, so one rich person, and he said that if you have 20 goals, for example, right, the first 5 or the first 3 is what you should focus on, yeah, and the rest you should just discard it. And I get the point of what he's saying. Doesn't mean you should just have 3 goals. He's saying that you can't focus on everything, because one thing I realized that some goals are dependent on other goals. So I realized that some goals that I had were dependent on me achieving some other goals, right? Most of you know that I trade Forex. Right now, I've put that on pause because I want to focus purely on my business. But some of the other big financial goals I had were dependent on the money I made from Forex, right? And this year, I didn't really make money from Forex. Like, I stopped trading once I got to school, because I wanted to focus, like I said, on my business. But on school, daddy, and on school, if you are watching this, and on school. So when I was looking at my goals, I started to feel bad. Like, some of the goals that I set, I didn't accomplish it, till I realized that it was only dependent on me accomplishing, one of it, if that makes sense. Another thing I learned here was to take these actionable steps more seriously, because having defined plans. Now, I know you cannot plan for your whole year from January. There are people that can, but you can't plan for every single goal, how it will turn out. But I mean, having a picture of how you want it to be for at least the first few months would be very helpful. I didn't take that seriously. I just said, okay, when I start, I would start to think about it, having detailed steps would enable me to know, okay, is this feasible? Is this a plan that I actually want to focus on? You get what I mean? And something that I did well was to have the courage to take out certain goals and to add some more if I felt like, right? I did not really hesitate so much. Okay, after I felt maybe in the 4th month, 5th month, that this is not really working out, I did not have any problems in taking it out. DTA tutorials was not really a goal. It was not a goal at all. It was something that came in the middle of the year. And once Forex started to, affect that, not in a good way, I did not have problems taking it out, right? Now, I know some people might have questions as to why I'm not trading. I literally have a Telegram channel where I used to send out free, what's it called? Free signals. They're not signals, but things I was trading basically. I used to send them out there. But for a couple of months, that place has been dry because I've not been posting anything. And the reason I've not been posting is because I've not been trading. I do plan on and getting back into trading next year, but that's for the video where I talk about my goals. So these are some of the things that I learned about my goals basically. And another thing that you should learn is not to beat yourself up about it. Like at the end of the day, like I said, it's still a game. You know, yes, we want to level up, yes, we want to get better and things like that, and we need discipline, right? But it's not something, it's not a do or die affair. If you don't do it, you will not die. Like right now, I'm still standing, I still have life, still have breath. Thank God for that, so I can go again next year. Right now, this is not to give you a procrastinating or a lackadaisical mindset, in no means. It's just to make you understand that at any juncture you find yourself where it does not feel like you're making progress, calm down, stop, breathe, and pray. Right? You can always try a different route, but don't kill yourself over it. You know, I genuinely cannot wait to talk to you guys about my goals. I just want to sit here and rant about my goals. It's not the time for it. This video is getting too long, but I'll do that next in January for sure. So we have come to the end of this video. Today is the last day, like I mentioned at the start of the video, 31st of December. It means that in a couple hours, by the grace of God, if Jesus tarries, I wish you all a happy new year. I genuinely hope that all the goals that you set do pan out the way you want them to, or more importantly, the way God wants them to. Please like the video, subscribe, turn on post notifications, and I will see you next time. Take care.